just think, okay, how does this relation pertain to the fourth dimension? And once you've connected that dot, then you can move on. That's how I've gotten past a lot of these obstacles. But I don't want to put too much negative stuff in this course, because I want it to be upbeat and positive, and it's meant to raise your vibration. But in order to do that, sometimes the foundation of other things that are not true has to be dismantled, and that's just the way it's got to be. So the next thing for a level 3 saint is to acknowledge the importance of not judging. The importance of not judging is one of the things that we are put on this planet to do. It is part of passing the test of life. Now you might say, well, if you're not supposed to judge, then why do we have an entire judicial system on the planet? That's a good question. And it is my recommendation to upgrade the judicial system to a system that can hold people responsible for their actions, but do it in a telepathic and completely honest environment. It is very important not to judge, because when you do that, you're placing obstacles in the way of expanding your consciousness. If you say, okay, something's right or something's wrong, then you've reached a conclusion, and you're going to get stuck there. Whereas if you don't judge it and you just observe it, well, then you can still keep going down the rabbit hole and investigate more about why it's this, or why it's this way, or why it's that way. But when you start judging, it stops you from, it prevents you from evolving, bottom line. And that's also very important for extraterrestrial contact too. Like, let's say you're prejudiced, and you're a white guy who doesn't like black people because of the color of their skin, and that's it. And once you determine that, okay, they have dark skin, so now I don't like them, well, that's going to prevent you from doing pretty much anything in regards to expansion of consciousness, and specifically in regards to extraterrestrial contact, because I've interacted with extraterrestrials that look like a vacuum cleaner with a human head. So if you can't handle the fact that a reflection of your own consciousness, actually another version of you, has dark skin and you have light skin, if you judge that and you can't handle that, then how are you going to feel, or how are you going to react to interacting with an extraterrestrial that looks like a vacuum cleaner with a human head? The extraterrestrials are not even going to want to bother with you if you're still in that low level of consciousness. So we want to get past all forms of judging on this planet. And this gets into space operations and things like that. There's actually a quarantine around this planet because of how violent we are. We're not allowed to go anywhere. There's a quarantine on this planet, and we need to have that quarantine lifted. But in order to lift that quarantine, it's necessary for people not to judge. And the universe is so spectacular, and life in the universe is so spectacular. If we were able to collectively get there and experience the fruits of the universe in this physical dimension, what a spectacular thing that would be. And this course will do it. If we unite and work with all this information, and it's just basically, even if you can't comprehend all of it, or your perception of things is different than my perception, just as long as you're not judging and you understand the importance of that, which any psychologist worth their salt will tell you, okay, it's not right to judge, you shouldn't be doing that, and that's where you want to be. So acknowledge the importance of not judging. Very important. And that's when you get into a meta realm. The prefix meta is pretty much, it means all different things depending on who's defining it. But for the most part, just for here, it means more than. So basically, once you understand the importance of not judging, you're able to take a metamoral perspective of something. or a metaphysical or meta-ethical perspective. And that's where we want to be. We want to get into the meta realm of things. And meta meaning more than the third dimension is the fourth dimension, da 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 da. So I'm just connecting a few dots there. Okay. Also, once you are able to not judge, your consciousness is going to expand a lot, and you're going to look at things with an extremely heightened sense of awareness. And you might not want to, because I've run into problems with this myself. So I'm just putting it out there so that you don't have to experience the same and make the same mistakes I personally made. But you might not want to let on, if in the course of your job you are trained to judge, and you stop doing that, many times you will be deemed overqualified and terminated, because your boss is going to see, oh, wait a second, this guy knows more than I do, and their position is going to be threatened, and you will be terminated. So, and we don't want people out of work or anything like that. And so just until then, once you've gained this knowledge and these abilities, you might want to keep it under your hat a little bit until you know the people that surround you are willing to be clear, direct, and honest with you. And once you have established that and you're united, then you don't have to really worry about anybody losing their job. And that's that. Okay. Okay. And the last thing in regards to a level 3 saint is acknowledging the existence of doppelgangers and understanding merging, and the fact that there is no death for the soul. You don't die. There's no such thing as death for your soul. Your conscious awareness leaves your body, goes to another place, and for a long time we've just been reincarnating. But basically what this course is being designed to do is help us move up instead of reincarnating into a higher level of existence. And go from there. But it's important. Well, it's important for many reasons. Interdimensionally, in regards to angels, in regards to extraterrestrials, it's important to acknowledge the existence of doppelgangers and merging. And now I'm going to start talking about things that I don't completely understand. All I'm doing is I'm going to be bringing forward information here that, to the best of my ability, to the well, not my deepest level awareness, because I'm going to have to withhold some information here, but I'm just going to be doing the best I can in helping you understand these things, and going from there. Okay. Now, I said before that I was born in a different dimension of a parallel universe, and I made a list. There's 4 pages of people that I knew, or that I know in the dimension I was born in, and in this dimension I see them again here. And at a higher level of existence, we all become angels, and then at a higher level of existence of that, we become extraterrestrial. And we want to, and it's very important to understand these things and to be exposed to this stuff, for an infinite amount of reasons. But I just set it up like this. So here's the name. There's the name. This is the dimension I was born in. I was born in this dimension. This is the dimension I'm in right now. And this is a dimension that I project my consciousness to. So it's not this physical dimension, but I can, because I have an active Merkaba, I can actually go into meditation and project my consciousness somewhere else and then bring the information back there. And these beings are in all these dimensions. The dimension I was born in, this one, and other ones. It's interdimensional. So we'll be going over some of this stuff. And I just have 4 pages here. If I were to list everybody that I've met, I mean, I'd have a stack of paperwork that hit the ceiling. Because there's 7 billion people in the dimension I was born in. They all exist here. Plus there are dimensions higher that angels and extraterrestrials can come down and materialize in this dimension. So, started off with my family. My father in the last dimension, my biological father, Patrick Kenny, is, I met one of him in the last dimension, and this dimension I met 4 of them. 4 different versions of my father. 2 are sorcerers, one's an angel, and then one is, I met, that was, I believe, extraterrestrial, and he is the pilot of an interdimensional spaceship. And then also I projected my consciousness to another dimension and I met him there as well. 2 different versions of him. My mother, Kathleen Kenny, I knew one of her in the dimension that I was born in. And in this dimension I met her 4 times over. She actually became one of her became a sorceress. Another one I met was an angel. Actually, 2 of them were angels, and one became a scientist, and then I believe one of them were another one was extraterrestrial as well. And also, I projected my consciousness to another dimension and met her also there. The next person is my sister, Sheila Oppenheimer, and that is in my biological sister where I was born. I knew one of my sisters, and in this dimension, I have written down here 9, but it's more like, this is kind of old, this paperwork that I wrote. Well, more like 12 or 15, like a baker's dozen I saw of her. I mean, my sister really did a spectacular job on help wake me up. And basically, she becomes, I met a few of her that were sorceresses, and then she became several angels. And then I met her, and another version of her, and she's a Pleiadian extraterrestrial. And I met another version of her, and I believe she was an Arcturian extraterrestrial. And then I also popped into another dimension, and in the dimension that I projected my consciousness to, she owns a like a deli slash bakery, and it's all organic food. And how it works basically there is the local farmers markets and things like that bring all the vegetables to her place, and she prepares this food. So for most of the time money doesn't get exchanged. People just bring her the food, and she prepares it and then gives the farmers back a finished product of ready to eat edible food, in turn for bringing and supplying the food that she sells at her restaurant. And a lot of the people that work in town just basically everyone works there, and if someone's out of work, she'll just say,